I was just reading the manual workbook thing, and it says that the gasifier system is 37% more efficient than burning gasoline. It is measured on like a million BTUs per mile. And so on wood gas, you're getting 263 miles per million BTUs of input. And with gasoline, you get 163. This process turns wood chips into charcoal, and you get biochar, wonderful carbon chunks as a byproduct of it.
Oh, really? It doesn't burn the wood entirely to ash?
Nope.
Oh.
It has like an ash dump that comes through the grate, but the grate keeps a constant biochar capacity in there, and that's where the embers are burning and the pyrolysis happens.
It's this funny window of vehicle between, it's after a carburetor, so it's the first model fuel injection systems, but it predates the OBD3 computer systems, which are just a little too complicated, I understand, and make it a little more difficult to do this gasification process. So there's this window between 1991 and 1996, these models of vehicles that are perfect for this because they're just easier to kind of hack into. And that's what the truck that we're using is a 1995 Dodge Dakota, and that's sort of the ideal truck that the guy who designed the system, Wayne Keith, on driveonwood.com recommends, just because they're super common, you can buy parts for them pretty easily, they're reliable, and it's just a kind of a nice light duty truck that you can still pull a lot of stuff with. Actually cut a hole for the gasifier to go in here.
Right there.
So let me explain kind of some of the main components of what we've got kind of underneath the truck bed here for the gasifier. We're doing all the work that we can with the bed off that we need to do that's kind of hard to do from underneath, which is a lot of plumbing. This is the fresh air intake fan or blower. That's a bilge pump that forces air into the system. It forces air across the mufflers in this heat exchanger, and then will come up and enter the gasifier, which will be located here. The gasifier gas later in the system gets plumbed to the back corner of the truck bed, goes down, and on either side of this tank here in the middle, the hot gas or the cooled gas from the gasifier comes down in two different pipes and enters this tank. This tank basically collects moisture, that is condensate, that's a byproduct of the wood gasification process. All wood basically contains some amount of moisture, and so this is a way to kind of collect it and to store it before it gets passed on to the engine, which obviously doesn't want to have any water in it. And so this is a place to also collect tar, which is another byproduct, which is a solid, tar-like substance. It's actually tar from the wood gasification process. And we have two different valves on this thing that allow us to bleed off both water and tar. And it's a metal tank, meaning also that we can heat it up if it doesn't flow, or if it's a colder day and we want to empty out those two items. So then this tank collects those moisture, the tar and the water, and then the gas comes out here. The cooled water-free gas, basically wood gas, comes out of these and gets plumbed up to the engine, and this is something else that we'll have to do, unfortunately, with the truck bed back in place here. But effectively, we've done all we can with the truck bed off. Now we just got to put it on and crawl around and finish the rest of it. These two valves are where we'll drain off the tar. This is any of the tar, heavy tar petroleum byproducts that may collect in the system. You can use those for starting a fire or putting on an asphalt road, but we can collect them here and not drip them into the atmosphere. And then this is the valve that we release water that's collected in the system. And you see they're at different heights. Tar will go to the bottom, the heavier material, and then the water is a little bit higher, and this allows us to take the water, which will float on top of the heavy tars, and drain it off separately. And the advantage again is that these are metal valves in a metal tank, and we can heat this up with a torch if we need to get the tar especially loose in the event of really cold weather, and we collect a lot of tar and we need to get rid of it. Basically, these behind this unit, these are fans. These are actually bilge pumps, so they're water resistant 12-volt bilge pumps that are used to basically force air, to draw air through the gasifier. This is before the engine starts. So we have these fans here that basically suck air into the condensate tank here to simulate the draw of the engine. And then once it's going and the engine starts on the wood gas, we close this tennis ball valve to make it airtight, turn off the fans, and then the wood gas is being drawn through the system by the vacuum created by the engine. This is 2 bilge pump fans, or bilge pump blowers, which basically get gases out of the hulls of boats. It's a watertight or water-resistant 12-volt vacuum fan. And so we're using it here to force air, fresh air, across our muffler heat exchanger to preheat the air before it enters the system. And this tennis ball valve here also allows us to shut off the air, the fresh air intake if we need to. We finished most of the major components, including the muffler heat exchanger. We've done the primary heat exchanger as well, and that's manufactured and ready to install. We've also got the fuel hopper, the gasifier itself, and the hay filter. And so now we just need to kind of assemble all of the parts. Everything's done, just waiting to finish it up.
Well, I hope you're getting inspired by this wood gasification system. I'm going to try to keep you updated on the progress of their project and how it goes. I might be leaving town before they're finished and they go on the road, but maybe we'll catch them on the road at some point. And definitely next season when I come back, I'll be able to have a little demonstration video and see how things are working. I'm sure by then they will have learned from traveling all over the country running their truck on wood what works and what doesn't. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, share and give a thumbs up to the video, and I'll see you next time.